things, right? And I was like, hey, man, can you show me how to do this? And I kind of started gravitating towards other people in my life I would usually not gravitate towards, and then ask for, hey, help. And then I would ask for help or ask like some advice, and they were so willing to help me, and it really kind of put me in the right direction. And then I still talk to him today. He calls me up and says, Jordan, let me explain this to you. This is how you restructure the debt. This is, hey, the rates are low. Go look at your properties, restructure your debt, pull some cash out, do a cash out refinance. This is good debt. This is bad debt. All this stuff. And I kind of changed like my circle, and I did it by asking for help, just asking for help. And when you meet one guy like that, he knows like 7 other guys, and that's what I've noticed. And then he introduced me to them, and then we all kind of make these connections, and then it kind of just spreads out.
So the first guys, so I find a lot of the kids I work with, a lot of people in general, they don't evaluate the human. They maybe evaluate what the human can do for them, like the human doing side, but not the human being side. So later on, they get caught in some crap because they don't find good humans in their life to protect them and be around them and support them when they maybe need it the most. What's your goal in the future? You're speaking more, you're traveling, you're obviously COVID's going on. So what's the future look like for you? You've already made money. Now you're really giving a lot of impact. Love to introduce you around to a couple organizations. They would absolutely love you. And anybody that hasn't checked them out, go to Jordan's TikTok. It'll be down below. But yeah, what's next?
Like, so in my mind, the way I see my life, I want to keep building, I didn't wake up one day and say, I want to be like an insurance agent, right? It's not like my dream in my life. It just kind of happened, and so, but it's a way to make money, and it's fun. And I love my clients, but, I just want to keep building, but more importantly, I want to build my real estate, right? I really like buying real estate. I'm addicted to it, but the speaking and the kids, and I want to keep spreading this message, because I get hundreds of messages from my TikTok, and there are so many kids out there that are feeling how I felt. I know exactly how they feel. Like literally, like I'm hopeless. I'm never going to make it. I'm scared. Am I ever going to be able to buy a home? Like these little things that we think of when we're younger. Like I'm never going to be successful. I'm never going to be, I don't even know how to write a check. Like, I didn't know how to do any of that stuff either. And all these things, I want to like move forward with this. I'm just a kid with an IEP. I want to, everyone who has an IEP, like every kid in the world, because I know we're all feeling the same way in some degree, right? We all have different problems, but we're all feeling the same type of way. I want them to know that like their weakness is really their strength. Like all these things they're going through, these things that they think are their weaknesses, like they're not understanding that quickly in school. They have to rewrite everything. Maybe they're not good, but they have to work with a tutor for 4 hours just to get the one math problem done. Whatever it is, all these things, I want them to realize that that's their strengths and what their strengths really are by my message, and then I can change the way they all see themselves. And I think they can all never slip through the cracks if they see that. So I really, my vision is to do that. And then I want to create a place where, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. I don't know if it's possible, but I really want to create this place called I'm Just a Kid with an IEP, right? And I want to have tutors in there, but like really like cool tutors that have had IEPs that kind of know what these students are going through and kind of can relate to them in a way, almost like a life coach, but a tutor at the same time, that kids can come to, go there, and then maybe we can go work out in the same place. Maybe we can like climb like ropes, climb rock climb, everything in there, kind of just to build like the confidence and strength and how you feel about yourself. And then just have like this like whole like facility like that where kids can come like that feel like I felt, or feel like all these kids on TikTok that I reach out to, and they can come there and feel like they feel like themselves, get motivated, uncover their their weaknesses and their strengths, and figure out what their strengths are, and then go utilize them out in the real world. And they go like send them back out, and they'll take over the world. That's really where I want to take this place. I don't know really how I'm going to get there yet, but I'm going in that direction. I don't know if it's going to be a website. I don't know if it's going to be a building. I don't know, but I'm trying to figure it out.
Well,
that's what I want to do.
I love that. It's the exact same thing. We were speaking around the country and implementing programming and training teachers, because a lot of people I find that are in the system. I find a lot of teachers that somewhat had a hard challenge too. Definitely the teachers in the special ed departments. These teachers, some of them are the most amazing teachers I've ever seen. Definitely, like I have a couple in Homestead, senior high school in South Florida. I mean, these teachers are rock stars. They love their kids. They get it. They understand it. They want to support them. So I love that you're going after that. Tell me about how did you find your gifts?
I found them by taking risks, so I didn't know like I was going to be a speaker. I think that my gift really is connecting with people, connecting with other students, and kind of even when I speak, like I feel like I go up there and it comes. I think your gift comes kind of easy, but you have to work on it. But it comes kind of easy. So I, I found it by accident, but I think you find it under like by going after the things you're kind of really scared of. And I was always scared to get up in front of talk or read in front of people. Like I used to freak out. And one day when I graduated college, Centenary, where I went, they were like, "Hey, Jordan, can you come back and speak to all the child study team members? There's going to be like 60 of them, and can you tell us your experience through Centenary?" And I was like really nervous, and I said, I said I'll get back to you. I didn't want to do it, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to do it because I'm scared. I'm going to do it. And then when I got up there and did it, I wasn't prepared. I just did it. Just went up there and did it. And when I was done, I got like this standing ovation, and everyone was like, "You got to take this on the road," right? And I was like, I didn't know what happened, and then I kept getting called back every year since 2012. Kept getting called. Then all of a sudden, I was there 3 times a year. Then I was speaking to this program that wouldn't let me in. I was speaking to the parents and the kids before they started the program. So then I started to realize, hey, wait a minute, this ends up being easy for me, even though I was scared in the beginning, but now it's easy. And now I can just go off the top of my head and tell my story and motivate these kids. And then I get all these awesome messages back. And then I know that's my gift, because look at all the feedback I'm getting. Look at all the way these kids feel. They pushed through the program. They wanted to run away, but they didn't. And now they're going to go out there and write their own story. So I think I did it. You find the fear, and where the fear is where I think your gift is.
Wow, fear can definitely motivate some people. I find that a lot of people that I went to school with, I know one guy, and he became super successful, ended up speaking around the world, working with Richard Branson, amazing guy. What I find is what do we need to do with the system going forward? Obviously, the education system isn't solving this problem, I would say. What do you think needs to be changed within education for kids that have different learning styles?
I think the way they're I think the way they're graded and the way everything is set up, like I think it should be like, all right, when you're in school, instead of saying, hey, you have an algebra class, right? You have to be good in algebra, right? Whatever, right? I don't like, but in a way, it's good to do things that are tough, right? Because we want to be able to have to deal with things that are tough. We can't just be like, oh, it's hard, don't do it, just don't do it. But there has to be a way, hey, you have an algebra class, all right, we have to do it. There's algebra, right? But we're not going to judge you on if you figured out the algebra that quick or what your grade was. We're not going to grade you on that. We're going to grade you, hey, you worked hard, right? You came after class every single day. You were raising your hands even though you're answering the question wrong, but that's what we're going to grade you on. I think, and the teacher should have that understanding with the students that feel this way, and say, hey, we're going to grade you on that. We're going to grade you on your effort, and that's what's important, the effort. Because if you grade them on the effort, say, hey, and they're going to want to come in and put that effort in because they want to feel like something. They want to. I remember wanting to get like a good grade back because that's all I wanted. I wanted to be like a normal student. But what if I was getting, hey, Jordan, you're doing a great job. Don't worry, because I would put an effort in, I would still fail. So then I feel like it wouldn't be worth it. But what if you put the effort in, but then you pass, right? And then you're like, you know what? I didn't really get it. I did my best, but I put the effort in. I went to after class. I went to my tutors. I had my note takers. I did everything. I think they should grade them on the effort. And then I think they should work on the belief system and the self-belief of all the students and the confidence. Like that's, and then and be aware of the self-awareness of where they're at mentally. Like where are they at right now? Are you down on yourself? How are you feeling? Let's talk it out. I think that's really important because I didn't have anyone to draw that out of me when I was sitting there thinking about how bad I was in school, how much I hated school and hated myself. But if I had someone to talk to and say, hey, I know how you feel, but school, just because you're not good at school doesn't mean you're not going to be good at life, right? Let's focus on what you're good at and let's put some effort in. And then I would, and I think that could have changed. Who knows what would have happened? I mean, maybe the road that I took was because of what I went through, but it could have changed the way I thought about myself, and it would have maybe helped a lot of my other students who didn't have a mom like I had to put me in the right direction, kind of not slip through the cracks now and be doing the things like I see them still doing the same things they were doing when we were in 2008. And I say, guys, you know, I was just like you, man, but you guys got to get out of this. I'm telling you, you know, I sold myself short, but they don't believe it because there's nothing to go on now at this point. And it's hard. I want to drag them out, but it's tough.
Yeah, I'm with you. I believe that effort isn't passion, effort, desire aren't brought into the system. It's more of it has to be here's 100 questions, multiple choice for this test, or 20 questions for this quiz, or whatever it is. If you're not right, then you're not right, which is really interesting.
Yeah,
that's awesome, bro. I absolutely love it.
And it's tough too with the college situation. Like everyone starts applying to colleges, and if you're one of those kids that, like, I remember being like, you know, I don't even know my SAT score. I couldn't even answer one question on the SATs. I had no idea what I was looking at, and I couldn't even sit in that classroom for longer than 10 minutes. I was losing my mind on those questions. And everyone's getting into college, and you have to write a paper to get in, and you have to be part of these programs, like all these things that, like, I don't think are not for the students like that, like me and you, that were in that situation. It's not. Let's look at them different. Let's look at everyone differently. Let's look at them and what their gifts are, you know, what they're struggling with. Let's see how hard they're working. Let's do a Zoom meeting and see what type of person this guy is, you know, and this girl is, things like that. Like, let's do something different. Let's not just focus on what grade they got or what grades they got for 4 years.
Yeah, one of the things I love to do is give the kid work experience, get them actually working and give them vision. So depending on what they want to go into, let's get them an internship or job. And not get them, but they get it themselves by doing a resume, doing a LinkedIn account, doing certain things to be able to create that result. And I absolutely love it because you learn how to read and write and spell better on a job. If you're working at McDonald's, go get a job at McDonald's. Kids think it's funny sometimes. They're like, oh, that's not enough money, or that's not what I want to do. And I'm like, but it's a process. It's a system. It's the ability to show up every day, learn teamwork, learn how to do a skill, learn how to report on it, learn how to build relationships, how to understand management, there's so many skill sets that they learn just on the basic job, but they think it's, you know, underpaid. And I'm like, well, guess what? At the end of the day, you're either going to learn the skill set or not. You're going to go to college and pay 50 to 100,000, or you're going to go to a job and you're going to learn it there. So you get to figure out, do you want to get paid for it, even if it's a little bit, or do you want to pay for it and it's going to be a lot?
Right. I like, yeah. And you know what, when you go into jobs like that, like even right before I started my financial advisor, I was selling windows door to door. I didn't want to do that. That's the only job that was out there. And, you know, they drop you off in a neighborhood and they give you a clipboard and like, go sell windows till 8:00 at night. Nobody wants you at their door. But I learned in 2 seconds, and I've seen kids come in there. I learned in 2 seconds how to connect with someone at the front door so they don't slam it in my face, and get them to let me in their house and sell them windows, which is insane. And then I've seen kids come into this job so terrified to ring that doorbell. And by a month, they're a new person. Their confidence is through the roof. And then they all went on to do awesome things after that job. It wasn't like the career of that job, but it was what they did after and who they became there. Just like being at McDonald's, it's what you pick up there, and then what you do next is what matters. But you got to get through that tough part.
Yeah, I believe the biggest blessing in the world was it was hard when I was younger, and it's easier today.
Right.
Because I learned how to push through the hardship, the pain, the over and over and over of contracts or words or this or that. I don't know any other special ed, non-college graduate, learning disabled person that was a college professor that owns private schools, that owns a business, that was a professional MMA fighter and WWE wrestler. Like, I don't know anybody that. But then it takes it in your world, which is great because you own your own business. You have real estate. Like, you're on the other side, which is great because we're doing exact opposite things. But at the end of the day, we're doing the same exact thing to make an impact on this world, and we're super highly successful.
Yeah, and I think between the both of us in our own mind, right, we're almost like fighting to prove to these kids, hey, you can do this every day, right? Like I'm not even fighting for myself anymore. I'm like, I got to do this so they can see this, I want them to see that they can do this, everyone